I'm going to West Virginia. Which is exciting, and I'm really excited to go, but the reason I'm going to West Virginia, well, that's kind of strange. You see, Papa, the guy you probably all met on the vlog yesterday, Emily's grandpa, her dad's dad, he's been wanting to travel all of his life, but when he got married last time, she got sick, and so he couldn't travel anymore. And so he's been waiting to go to West Virginia for a super long time because that's the only place he's never been. He's been to every single state in the US except for West Virginia. So I was tasked, along with my brother-in-law, to take him there, which isn't a big deal. But we were only told about this trip 2 weeks ago. And, well, honestly, I wouldn't even say we were told about this trip. You see, my father-in-law, again, about 2 weeks ago, group text me, Brandon, and Papa if we wanted to go to West Virginia. Now, at that point, he really wasn't asking me and Brandon, because if Papa said yes, well, how could we say no? Yes, we could say no to Chuck, but how do you say no to a 60-some-year-old man who's been wanting to go to West Virginia his whole life? He basically conned us into this trip, which is sort of weird. Now I'm excited for this trip to go with Papa and Brandon, and it's all expenses paid on my end, so I'm not exactly complaining, although it is kind of a weird relationship. Grandfather, grandson, and grandson-in-law? But it should be a good time. It's just, it came about kind of weird. I forgot to put on Emily's hubcap when I was putting the tires all back on, and she's been asking me to do this for a while now, but since we are going on a trip, I know the hubcap doesn't really matter all that much, but I feel like I should do it, so this is me doing it now. I now realize that I probably didn't have to lift the car to put the hubcap on the tire. I probably could have just taken the bolts off and put that on. But I guess that probably would have been harder to like turn, so I don't know. I mean, it only took me like 15 minutes, which, you know, relative to the last time, which took well over an hour. I think I'm getting better at this. Brandon, Papa, and I are off to West Virginia. Papa's buckling up. We're going to grab some lunch. Brandon's going to work on a paper, and it's going to be a good trip. Brandon's telling me about his nicotine addiction and how he quit smoking or vaping nicotine three months ago. He's 3 months free. We are here, so we are here in, where are we? Englewood, Ohio? Yeah. Papa had to pee. Also, he's old, so I think we should like let him out every like hour or two, or like he'll have like a stroke and die.
That's probably a good idea, yeah.
And I really don't want him to die in our car, because
that would suck. Paperwork?
Yeah, how would you, if someone dies, how do you go about that? Who do you go to? Who do you call? Do you like go to like a police station, or do you like, how does that work?
I think you have to go to a hospital.
To a hospital? He's already dead.
Well, if he's in the process of dying, aren't you supposed to start the drive to the hospital? It's a little fishy.
So like, you would have to, but then you have to lie to the doctors and say, oh, well, we almost made it.
Well, no, just be like, he looked like he was about to die, so we started driving here, and he died on the way.
And then what's the hospital do?
I assume they have a place where they can store bodies. It's a hospital.
I don't know how this works. Well, hopefully he won't die. But otherwise, how's the trip going, Bran?
It's going pretty all right. I like driving.
You haven't done any of the driving.
Nice day for it, too, to be driving.
Brendan's literally zero driving. But that's okay. We're only a couple hours out, so should be good. It's also nice and warm out, which is nice. We are here at the Embassy Suites in Charleston, West Virginia. It is a tiny little town. This is the capital and the biggest city in West Virginia, and it's only like 40,000 people. And when we were driving down the streets, there was no one on the streets. It felt like we were in one of those apocalypse movies, and we were the last people on Earth. It was pretty strange, especially because on the highway there were all of these cars, and we get into Charleston and there's almost no one, which is It's interesting. I think the city's pretty. I mean, we only get to drive through a little part of it. Our room is really nice, so very grateful that we got this place. And I think tonight we're gonna go explore. I have to get some work done first, and so does Brandon. But then we explore. We are in a mall right across the street from Embassy Suites. Papa wanted to buy a new watch because the one he got isn't working. So he went to this JCPenney's, which just happens to be connected to this whole mall. I mean, it's basically just like any other mall I've ever been to. But I'm glad this is the first thing we did when we got to West Virginia was go to JCPenney's. Papa's also suggesting we go to Outback for dinner, which I mean, it's not like the first thing I want to do, but if it's what Papa wants, I'm just along for the ride. But maybe we find something that, is a little more on the dangerous side than an Outback Steakhouse. We are here in West Virginia looking for a place to eat. This town is pretty much abandoned.
Yep.
Which is weird, because it's 6:30 on a Monday. We tried this one barbecue place. It was closed for some reason, not sure. We went to the second place, and looks there's people in there. And again, it's 6:30, which is, typical kind of rush hour for food places. And we walk in, and he says, no, we're not doing any more food.
An hour before they close.
But it's interesting he asks, are you here for food? What else would we be there for?
Drinks. I think there was a bar in there.
A barbecue restaurant?
I think everywhere's a bar.
It's, yeah. Also, the part of town we're in, I mean, not the top of my list of places to stay.
How do you make money if you stop serving people an hour before you close?
That is, it's quite strange.
Surely business has to be slow. Like, why would you turn away, like,
maybe
10% of
maybe they
your
only
customers
accept,
for
like,
the
people
day?
they know. And we're
Well,
not people they know.
We are very clearly from out
do
of
their
town.
business during the day when the state offices are open.
Yeah.
They close early like that because they never get any business.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Must be the case. So,
You're in a heavily populated area or city of 28,000.
yeah, it's a very small place. So, hopefully, choice number 3 will be the one. Brandon's gonna look. We're gonna see if we can find something. On the other side of the river, probably.
Awesome.